adding on to our list of ways to prove triangles are congruent. So far we've talked about 4 different ways. Side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side. We're adding on one more method today. It's called HL. If you read ahead, the H stands for the hypotenuse and the L stands for the leg. Notice that means we've got to have a right triangle because a right triangle only has the hypotenuse and the leg. Let's come down here and just make sure we remember what some of that basic vocabulary is. The side across from the right angle is called the hypotenuse. It's also the largest side of the triangle. The 2 sides that form the right angle are called the legs. So if the hypotenuse and a leg of one right triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse and leg of another right triangle, then the 2 triangles are congruent. The hypotenuse of a right triangle is the side across from the right angle is also the largest side in the triangle. The legs of a right triangle are the sides that form the right angle. Let's look at the example below. We've been given 3 different triangles. They're asking us which 2 triangles are congruent because of the hypotenuse leg. First thing we want to do is make sure that they have right angles, which they all do. I'm noticing on this one the hypotenuse is 5, on this one the hypotenuse is 5, but this 5 is not on the hypotenuse. So the 2 triangles that are congruent by hypotenuse leg are this triangle and this triangle. We've got triangle LMN congruent to, and again remember the order matters. Angle L is the angle in between the side length of 3 and the side length of 5, which would be angle O over here. Then M goes to that right angle, which would be Q, and then finally that leaves. Now you might be saying, well, couldn't I use one of those properties from above? Well, if I went and labeled this would be ASS. Notice that's the donkey one, which would make you think it doesn't work. If that happens, then you want to go and look at this 5th option and look to see specifically if that angle is a right angle, that actually means we have hypotenuse leg, and in reality those triangles are congruent. Take a look at a proof, but we're just filling in the blanks, not an all-out proof. CA is congruent to AM, and we know that because of the given. We have angle CPA is congruent to angle MPA, and that would be because right angles are congruent. We have PA is congruent to PA, that would be because of reflexive. Since CA is the hypotenuse, and PA is a leg of a right triangle, and MA is the hypotenuse, PA is a leg of the right triangles, the triangles would be congruent because of this hypotenuse leg, therefore the student is time we're checking for hypotenuse leg is it has got to be a right triangle. If it is not, we're referring back to one of those four that we have listed on the front of our paper. Let's look at one more proof. This is called a flowchart proof. Still a proof, it's just organized a little bit differently. I'm starting all the way over on the left. This is kind of like the top of your two-column proof. If you take a look up at the top, xm is congruent to yz. This is because of given. xy is congruent to xz, and if you read closely, it tells us this triangle is isosceles, which means two of the sides have to be the same measure, which in this case would be xy and xz. So this is definition of an isosceles triangle. Coming down here, xm is congruent to xm. We've seen this property several times. This is reflexive. Let's go up here. It says xmy and xmz are, and the reason they're telling us is definition of perpendicular lines. Remember, perpendicular lines create right angles, so those two angles are right angles, which means these two triangles are right triangles. I've got my right angles. I have this reflexive side in here, which is acting as one of the legs. I also have my hypotenuse congruent way back here, so the triangles are congruent by the hypotenuse leg. Make sure you have the notes completed. The next part of your assignment is an Excel assignment along with a few questions in your packet.